Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Rejuvenated Naomi Osaka slays Coco Gauff at US Open with help from new coach. It has been a long time since the world saw the best of Naomi Osaka. The Japanese 27-year-old, a four-time major winner, may have been fully active on the tour for more than 18 months, but late on Monday at her favorite court in the world, she announced her return by slaying the third-seed Coco Gauff, a resounding performance in a dominant 6-3, 6-2 victory. Osaka booked her place in the US Open quarterfinals, a first appearance in the final 8 of a major since she won the Australian Open in 2021. She has left with the title at each of the 4 Grand Slam in which she has reached this stage, and while the performance and the victory, a first for the Japanese over a top 3 player since September 2019, may bookend her return back to the top levels of the sport, the journey really sprouted its legs at the start of last year. Answering some questions. In the summer of 2021, Osaka fell from the top of the tennis mountain with remarkable speed. She had won her 4th major and completed 25 weeks at world number 1 before frailties had begun to creep in. Later, she would be more open in admitting the mental vulnerabilities she felt in the lockdown period and how the pressure of the spotlight played on her mind. Once she fell off her perch, she tumbled way outside the rankings. The results betrayed her, and later she went into an extended break from the sport, spending 16 months away for pregnancy and the birth of her first child, her daughter Shai. So by the time she returned to tennis at the start of 2024, reasonable questions may have been asked of whether she has still got it. There were expectations from some corners that she may never return at all. Despite changing remarkably little and sticking to her first strike attacking style, she showed glimpses of her best, even holding match points against Iga Swiatek in her least favorite surface in the second round of the 2024 French Open, before the pole escaped and went on to win the title. Showing clearly that she was refreshed and in the right mental frame of mind, Osaka was a threat, but needed her physical fitness and consistent results to coincide. The catalyst of that would be a coaching change earlier this summer, linking up with Swiatek's former coach, Poland's Tomasz Wiktorowski, who has revitalized her game by making her stick to her attacking instincts and powerful baseline ground strokes. Curiously, Swiatek has felt revitalized herself by linking up with Osaka's former coach, the Belgian Wim Fissette, this year. Polar opposite frames of mind. Osaka reached the final of the WTA 1000 in Toronto, which was evidence enough that the game had never left her, and the confidence that was lacking had returned. She won 3 matches routinely to set up the blockbuster against Gauff, and arrived at Arthur Ashe Stadium determined to relish the opportunity of playing these big matches once again. Her opponent was in a polar opposite frame of mind. Gauff's indifferent 2025 led her to make a drastic change on the eve of this tournament, parting ways with a coach and joining hands with a biomechanics specialist designated to fix her faltering serve. The extreme Western grip on her forehand, too, was a concern. She had a fraught first week at the tournament, escaping with wins twice, and feeling the weight of the expectations on her while she made such a big change in full public view. She arrived into this match bogged down by it all, and Osaka would take advantage to dismantle her. From the very first point, the Japanese was on top, breaking Gauff's serve in the opening game and staying confident on her serve. Tellingly, she dominated the baseline exchanges. The uninitiated may not have known which of these two is the higher-ranked, younger player, by targeting Gauff's serve, on which she had another off day, and blowing her away on the cross-court forehand exchanges. Gauff made 20 unforced errors on her forehand. This was Osaka flexing her resurgent game and strategic know-how, and Gauff looking especially off-color. After Gauff netted a simple forehand in the second set, Osaka was not even made to nervily serve for the match and handed the victory with another error. The American looked like she had put herself out of her misery. Gauff's journey from here may be tricky, with every onlooker and herself sure she needs technical adjustments and improvements. But Osaka will take away a lot from the encounter, a first big win, and a signaling of her return to the top. Coco is one of the best players in the world. I have the most fun when I play against the best players. I always see it as a challenge. I like challenges, she said after the win. These are the moments that I play tennis for. She plays 11th seed Karolina Muchova in the quarterfinals on Wednesday, and she will arrive as the favorite. Rebirth on the court, Osaka's return. Flushing Meadows had never sounded so loud. The roar from the crowd echoed like a wave crashing onto the hard court. Naomi Osaka stood motionless for a beat, her racket dangling at her side, sweat glistening down her arms. Across the net, Coco Gauff exhaled, hands on hips, eyes searching for answers she couldn't find. The scoreboard flashed. U.S. Open quarterfinals. Naomi Osaka def. Coco Gauff 6-4, 7-6, 5. A win was a win. But this wasn't just any win. It was the win. The comeback. The rebirth. The fall before the rise. Just a year ago, Naomi had disappeared. No press conferences. No tournaments. Not even an Instagram post. She called it a break. The world called it retirement. But what the world didn't see were the endless days in a quiet Tokyo gym, swinging its shadows, searching for rhythm, trying to stitch her spirit back together. Fame had come fast, pressure faster. At just 23, she'd been a global icon, and a prisoner of her own expectations. Then came the silence. People forgot. But Naomi hadn't. Enter the new coach. He wasn't flashy. He didn't come with a resume full of Grand Slams or endorsement deals. Just a soft-spoken, former Japanese Davis Cup player named Kaito Suda. Middle-aged, introverted, and the polar opposite of every coach Naomi had worked with. Their first meeting was awkward. She showed up in gym shorts and a hoodie, hair tied in a loose bun, face guarded. He brought a beat-up notebook and a single tennis ball. "What do you want?" he asked her, without preamble. Naomi shrugged. "To play again. But better." "No," Kaito said. "Not better. Truer." She frowned. "What does that even mean?" "It means you've been playing for the world. I want you to play for you." And somehow, that changed everything. The rebuild. They worked in obscurity. No media. No drills for show. Kaito focused on simplicity, breathing, footwork, touch, but more than that, identity. He made her write letters to her younger self. He made her meditate after practice. He removed mirrors from the gym. "Stop looking at how the world sees you," he said. "Start feeling how you move." There were days Naomi cried on the court, others where she hit serves until her arm went numb. But slowly, the rhythm returned. Then the joy. By the time the 2025 U.S. Open rolled around, she was unseeded, underranked, and completely under the radar. Just how Kaito wanted it. The Gauff showdown. Coco Gauff was a phenom. A Grand Slam champion in her own right now. The face of the new generation. And when the draw was announced, Osaka versus Gauff in the quarterfinals, it was billed as a battle of eras. The prodigy versus the comeback queen. But Naomi didn't feel old. She didn't feel pressured. She felt ready. Set 1, composure. Arthur Ashe Stadium buzzed with energy, but Naomi was the calm in the storm. Her serve was clean. Her footwork tight. She wasn't chasing points. She was crafting them. Coco, ever the fighter, kept pace. But Naomi's timing was impeccable. Kaito sat in the player box, face unreadable, but she knew he was pleased. They drilled that inside-out forehand 1,000 times. Tonight it sang. 6-4. First set Osaka. No fist pump. No scream. Just a breath. Set 2, fire and ice. Gauff came out swinging. The teenager's backhand crackled like lightning, pushing Naomi wide, dragging her into brutal rallies. But Naomi didn't crack. Down 3-5. She clawed back, saving 2 set points with slice returns and surgical precision. Kaito stood up, a rare move, mouthing a single word, trust. Naomi did. The tiebreak was electric. Fans on their feet. Gauff's drop shots met Osaka's moonball lobs in a dance of tactics and grit. At 6-5, Osaka stood at match point. She tossed the ball. Breathed. Served. Ace. The aftermath. The crowd erupted. Naomi dropped to one knee, not in exhaustion, but in disbelief. Coco came to the net, graceful in defeat. The two hugged, competitors, but also comrades in the crucible of tennis. Reporters clamored. Headlines wrote themselves. But when asked at the post-match presser what had changed, Naomi smiled quietly. "My coach didn't make me better," she said. "He made me real again." The real victory. That night, Naomi sat alone on the steps of the players' lounge, racket bag beside her, hair wet from the shower. Kaito joined her, sipping green tea. "You played well," he said simply. She nodded. "I didn't win for them." He smiled. "I know." There was a silence, but it wasn't empty. Naomi looked out over the grounds of Flushing Meadows, a place that had once swallowed her whole. Now it felt like home. Epilogue: the legacy shift. The win over Gauff wasn't the final. Not yet. But in many ways, it was the moment of the tournament. A symbolic torch passing in reverse. A statement that greatness doesn't just rise. It returns, renewed. The media focused on the victory, but those who watched closely saw something deeper. A woman reclaiming her narrative. A player rediscovering her art. And a coach, quiet, strange, brilliant, who had reminded her that tennis wasn't war. It was expression. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share.